Express. It's time for us to go through the stories this morning. Go on Twitter, use that hashtag Business Express 981. If you're on YouTube where we're streaming live, you see our wonderful faces in the studio, and especially you see Vwede smiling gracefully. Good morning, Vwede.
Hi, good morning, Lagos.
Good morning. Welcome. Lagos, join the conversation by sending a message through WhatsApp to 0809 444 0981. That's 0809 444 0981. You can also send a message on our YouTube platform. Just remember to type in the search box Smooth 981 FM so you can find us there and hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Vwede, let's start with the stock market and activity for yesterday.
Okay, so still the same trends we've been seeing. Market closed positive, second day in a row for the week. We saw some investors take interest in bellwethers that had low and attractive prices, like Danksem and Nigerian breweries, and Unilever as well. So basically, they're still looking. Investors are still bargain hunting for lower priced stocks with strong fundamentals, and people are it's always best to take advantage while the prices are low.
Okay.
So for investors that have a 12 to 16 month horizon, they can begin to also take position in these stocks with strong fundamentals, and they can stagger their entry, just keep buying at the attractive prices as the market is still down. Year to date is still about 14.4% year to date. So there's still a lot of opportunity in the market.
All right, so taking a look at that and moving on to inflation figures for September. A lot of people are jittery about these figures, and it's all over the news. The results were released yesterday. The figures were released yesterday. Take us through the numbers and let's see how they impact, cuts across board.
Okay, so in line with consensus, the inflation figures increased. Annual inflation was up 6 basis points from 11.22 to 11.28, but month-on-month inflation, however, declined. We saw the lowest decline since April. So month-on-month reduced to 0.8 from 1.0 in August. Looking at the breakdown, so food inflation rose, which is no surprise, 13.2 to 13.3%, but month-on-month inflation declined to 1.0 in September from 1.4 in August, and we can attribute this to increased supply in food due to the harvest season so basically we're expecting, since pressures on food inflation have reduced, we've seen lower cases of insurgency. So we believe that as the pressures have continued are declining, we expect that there's a positive outlook for food inflation in October. But our outlook is due to fiscal injections that we're expecting. We've already seen 460 billion of the budget disbursed for capital projects, and we are about to see more the beginning of pre-election campaign as the primaries have come to an end. So we believe that this would put more pressure on inflation, but we expect that the Monetary Policy Committee won't take any action. I feel they will maintain status quo and try to control the money in the system through the open market operations and other money through the money market basically. So they'll tighten through the money market, but still try to drive economic growth that has been a bit fragile. So we are not going to see any reaction by the NPC.
It's very interesting that you mentioned the 2019 elections. Just in our face, in a few weeks we'll be there. And looking at it, really, how much pressure do you think the NPC will be under to make sure that they control the money flowing into the system? Because we know how these things work, how much money really comes into play.
Yeah, and the CBN would always try to control the pressure on the naira.
Yes.
So definitely we're going to see, I believe we're going to see more OMO issuances. They're going to tighten through the money market to just control liquidity levels so that the naira isn't suffering from all the pressures on liquidity.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Now, Business Day is asking a question here, so I'm going to throw it to you. Now, The disappearance of the Saudi journalist is a major topic in our newspapers, on the tabloids, on the news channels generally around the world, and we're taking a closer look at how it affects the global oil market with the trade tensions that's going on already. How do you see this playing out?
Okay, so the US and Saudi have a good relationship. I mean, although it will definitely weaken sentiments from with global oil players,
Yes.
we don't expect there to be any major significant impact. Because the US would obviously want to keep the oil prices low.
Yes.
Yeah, so I believe that there's really not much to worry about.
All right, so I mean, taking a look at this in more detail now, with OPEC's leading producer and proponent of the current oil production deal with Russia weakened or even threatened by regime implosion, the sharks will be hunting very soon. Now, an observer, an energy analyst and founder of the Dutch consultancy Aruoture Oddiri, said that, and I quote, he noted several OPEC members will not be totally unhappy with the vaulted face of MBS, as some indicated. An unstable Saudi Arabia, he says, gives room to maneuver for Iran, Qatar, and Venezuela, and says these three will be looking for any weak point in the Saudi power constellation, as this will weaken the Moscow-Riyadh link as well. All right, so moving away from that and going to foreign direct investment in Africa. I'm looking at a half-year report for 2018 that says it has dropped compared to 2017. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's basically due to the volatile global economic environment. We saw that from this report, we saw only South Africa saw an increase in FDI of about 40%, and this is despite their recession. However, West African countries, FDI to West Africa reduced by 11%. And we believe that Nigeria is the major drag in this performance, as we don't have, looking at what even happened with MTN, we've not seen the proper framework to attract FDI.
Yeah.
So the way the case was handled, and also, the issues that surrounded the accusations as well. So apart from that, investor sentiments have been pretty weak. Talking about foreign direct investment,
yes.
And also due to the fact that we're approaching our elections, and foreign investors just want to watch
see how the results play out
exactly before they make any major commitments to Nigeria.
Would you blame them?
No, of course.
So yeah, anyway, which is very interesting to see. Lagos, be reminded that you can send your messages to us on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 444 0981. That's 0809 444 0981. Dapo sent in this message. Dapo says the Nigerian situation is quite a strange one. An increase in crude oil prices leads to paying more subsidy on petrol imported into the country. On the other hand, a fall in price leads to reduction in revenue. Which way, Nigeria? Thank you very much, Dapo. Let's sticking with the FDI, that's foreign direct investments, and based on information from the UNCTAD, that is the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. How seriously should we take this half-year report from the NIPC, the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission?
Well, I believe that the NIPC report is majorly talking about potential transactions that have been reported. So, I mean, we can see signing ceremonies going on, but, I mean, they don't really, most of these investments don't really don't really go into full motion, and also the report is gathering data from states, so I feel like the results published should be taken with a pinch of salt, basically.
Really?
Yeah, because they might be more political than the reality.
Than objective.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, let's talk about mergers and acquisitions. Now, it looks like the Cement Company of Northern Nigeria has received the green light from regulators for a planned merger. Can you explain this further for us?
Okay, so CCNN is planning to acquire Kalambaina Cement Company.
Yes, Kalambaina.
Kalambaina. Okay, and I feel this is very positive for CCNN. It's positive news. Yes. We've even already started seeing investors begin to take position ahead of the merger, and the stock has been on the uprise, currently at 25 naira. So the major aim of the merger is to increase the company's production, increase the company's production and market share, basically. So it's going to be good for their numbers. So we're looking forward to good half-year numbers, good full-year numbers in 2019. So investors have already started to take position ahead of this news.
That's interesting. They said the share exchange ratio of 19 million new ordinary shares of CCNN for every 100,000 Kalambaina Cement shares, as well as other terms and conditions of the proposed merger provided in the scheme of merger documents that will be dispatched to all shareholders. And then the respective board of directors of CCNN and Kalambaina Cement recommended that the proposed merger to shareholders be put forward, and they'll be seeking their support and approval at the respective ordered meetings. So all those investors that are interested in this and probably have investments existing should really take note of this. Let's look at this final point of call. Stock picks. Any stock picks from Afrivest? It'd be interesting to see.
Well, still the same advice we'll see. Still the same advice we'll give investors, basically. Okay. So stocks with strong fundamentals. You know, when stocks hit their low prices for the year, it's always a good time. Hit low prices, always a good time to enter and take more positions in those stocks, especially if you have a long-term horizon. So Zenith, GT, Danksem are always good choices.
So for Vwede of Afrivest, what is a long-term horizon for you, the safest margin for you?
Well, in this market, the safest margin should be 11 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to take your position at once. You can stagger your entry, at new low prices, so that your average cost of investments is low, and it keeps reducing as you keep buying lower. Okay.
Listeners, be reminded of the fact that you can please consult your brokerage firm like Afrivest before acting on any investment recommendations that you hear on this show, and I'm sure they'll better advise you as to the direction to take. Now, we have this messaging from WhatsApp. Dele Oyimbo sent this one. It says the MTN saga has become a major talking point for potential investors, and the government's posture says they do not care to address the issue. This will affect economic growth, change in presidency perhaps. By the way, Rhodes is on leave. Likes of Aiko. Okay, this one, you do not include your name to the message, but please add your names to your messages whenever you send them. And thank you very much for being part of the show. Thank you so much, Vwede, from Afrivest. And thank you to our second musketeer, Abiola. Thank you very much for coming in. Lagos, if you missed any part of this show, Business Express, here with Valentine, on Smooth 98.1. Please go back to YouTube, type in the search box Smooth FM 981 or Smooth 981 FM Lagos, and you'd get to watch all that episode that you missed. Coming up next at 7:30, we'll bring you the flagship show talking about detailed analysis of our newspaper stories inside of Freshly Pressed. Good morning.
Business Express.